What, you have your boyfriend speaking for you?
Tá deixando o Ilia falar por você, é isso?
Welcome back to another edition, Pure Picks. Back for UFC Freedom 250. Got my man Gerard here. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Excited for this one. Finally get to see Topuria again. So yeah, that was our first fight we went to live, and we saw him get the belt. So I'm excited for this card.
Yeah, man, me too. Topuria, Aptoro. I mean, he's like my favorite fighter to watch, most entertaining fighter today in the UFC. Every fight, there's going to be a finish. I don't think this guy has gone to like decisions in any like big fights yet so far. So this is classifies as a big fight, and really excited to watch it. Let's just start from the first fight on this card. It's an interesting one. It's Diego Lopes versus Steve Garcia. We got Mean Machine coming in on a huge winning streak. Diego Lopes coming off of he's not losing to Volk, but he's been doing good in the other fights as well. What are your thoughts on this, man, to kind of kick off the fight card?
Yeah, they're starting this card off a banger, like two exciting fighters. And I mean, I've been a fan of Diego Lopes since he came on to the UFC, throwing up submissions against Evloev in his debut. And yeah, he's been on a roll. He's a crowd favorite. He lost to Volk twice as his main losses as of late. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's the only type of fighter that I guess he struggled with, like someone who's in and out, has footwork, and can move in the cage. Against Steve Garcia, he's been on a roll. I used to think that he was just like a brawler type of fighter, but as of late, he's improved, and he looks like he has that stand-up striking IQ, and he picks his shots well his past few fights. And he's also pretty he's been patient striking. He's been more patient, and he's still been able to get those knockouts. So I think this will end up being a close fight. I want to say Diego Lopes because he has those submissions and grappling on the ground in his back pocket if he decides to get away from the striking and then test Steve Garcia's grappling and submission defense. And I think that's another avenue that Diego Lopes could take to find a win. But I just think Steve Garcia is just a very live dog in this fight. And I want to go for the underdog odds, but for now, 2 weeks out, I'm gonna go with Diego Lopes just because I think there's a chance that we see some grappling, and this is gonna be the first time that we really see Garcia get tested with these better fighters in the grappling if it goes there. So I'm gonna lean Lopes for now, but man, I think Steve Garcia is very live though.
I agree with pretty much all your points, to be honest. My pick's still Diego Lopes right now, but I think day by day, hour by hour, minute to minute, I'm getting kind of swayed by Steve Garcia with dog odds there. Reason why is, I feel like Lopes took some pretty big hits from Volk when I watched it. I don't know if this guy's striking defense is that good. I feel like he relies on his chin a lot, and it's one thing to be taking it from I don't know how old Volk is at this point, like 38 or something. Like he's just way past his prime. He's still champion, right? He's still a fantastic fighter, but not much power coming from those hands or any of those kicks anymore. I mean, it's like each time I watched Lopes, I feel like he was getting pieced up. He also wore some damage on his face too. And I feel like Steve Garcia, eating those shots from Steve Garcia is going to be different from than eating those shots from Volkanovski. It could cause a person to get knocked out eating those kind of shots to the face. So Lopes, I just don't think has good enough defense on the striking department to withstand Garcia for 3 rounds. Another thing is Lopes, I think he's a okay wrestler, fantastic jiu-jitsu player. If he gets to the ground, I think there's an advantage, but Steve Garcia is 88% takedown defense. I mean, that's just a high percentage. I mean, even if I want to go back to some of his opponents, kind of seeing if obviously they're not on the level grappler like Diego Lopes, right? But 88% is just really high. And I think that that's something that's going to be difficult for Lopes to do takedowns with, because I don't think he's the best wrestler either. Like his takedowns aren't the best. It's one thing to take down, I think, a guy like John Lopes or Gene Lopez or John Silva, right? But like, man, Steve Garcia just looks like physical, like a beast. Like, I think it's going to be tougher to take him down. So he might be getting into a brawl. And if he gets into a brawl, Mean Machine's going to run through him at some point. So, yeah, I think I'm going to change my pick, actually. I can't. I don't think I can talk myself into Lopes at this point because I just don't trust him to do this for 3 rounds. He may have gotten better fighting Volk twice. That's for sure. But I think the styles make the fights, right? And I think this is a much different style and much different matchup for him. So I think I'm going Steve Garcia here with dog odds. Not like 100% confident in playing it yet because I saw what Lopes did to John Silva. Like he pulled out a really nice unorthodox attack while Silva was kind of blitzing him, right? Like if Garcia does that, maybe he walks into a blitz. Maybe this is something that I'm like kind of being too cautious about because I think the first time I ever watched Steve Garcia fight was when he fought Ma Shade, that Chinese guy who was a similar frame as him. And he just got slept out cold in like very early in that fight. And then he like ran up like 7-8 wins after that. So obviously he's gotten better. But it's scary to kind of see that tendency. If you kind of blitz in like that, and Lopes has some strikes that you may not see coming. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Garcia right now, but who knows? Maybe if it gets wider. Right now the odds are -175. If it gets wider than that, maybe I'll take a stab at it. But plus 150. I don't think that's too bad right now if you want to get in on the Garcia dog odds. Next fight that we have is going to be Bo Nickal versus Daukaus. Pretty random fight. I think another random fight to get Bo Nickal onto a card. Obviously, UFC is still glazing this guy. And they want to put him in the best position possible. So they found a guy who, in Daukaus, coming off 2 straight wins, GM3, Michelle Pereira. I'm sorry, that's not impressive enough, man. But who knows? Maybe that's impressive enough for fighting a guy like Bo Nickal. He's coming off of beating Rodolfo Vieira, so I think this is just a really random fight. My first reaction, I think, is probably going to be Bo Nickal just by pure wrestling. I know that if you look hard enough, Daukaus kind of looks a little bit like Ritter, a little bit, maybe a little smaller. He has that like hunched shoulder, big. Obviously, he has some clinch work. Look at what he did to Michelle Pereira, right? Like, got some stuff going on there, but I don't think he's gonna be physical enough to do what RDR did to Bo Nickal. I think he's just a little smaller, unfortunately. Yeah, I gotta go with Bo here. I mean, but man, that maybe it's because Bo like shaved his face. He just looks way less intimidating these days. So I don't know what they look like, one of those clones. So I'm not really sure if I trust this, but I gotta think that his wrestling will still kind of push him through Daukaus. Even though this guy's nickname's the Dark Knight, he maybe has some chokes in there, but I don't think he's. I think the issue that Bo had was that Rainier was just way too big and physical for what he was trying to do, and like championship experience, right? Like Daukaus, he doesn't have that like championship experience. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be able to school Bo Nickal in this sense. So yeah, give me Bo Nickal here. What do you think about this fight?
Yeah, this fight, to be honest, I'm not crazy confident about Bo Nickal here. I actually think Daukaus is also live in this fight. If this ends up on the feet for most of the fight, I think Daukaus is probably like a better stand-up fighter than Reinier de Ridder. Because to me, Reinier de Ridder, he's like he's like kind of uncoordinated. It looks like at times in the stand-up, I feel he just was able to like put on that chaos with his knees. I mean, he has that. So that's like something special, I guess, that he has in his striking arsenal. But I mean, Bo Nickal has been looking better in the stand up, but I mean, it seems to me that maybe Rodolfo Vieira's just been washed and is not that great of a stand up striker. I mean, Vieira even lost pretty handedly to Meconico, who's I guess an okay fighter. He's like not bad, but I mean, he got washed by that guy,
Yeah.
and that was Bo Nickal's last great fight. So I don't know how much I want to weigh that fight either. So in this one, I mean, for me, I'm not gonna touch Bo Nickal's money line. I don't think. I mean, Kyle Daukaus is live. I'm still thinking whether I would take his underdog odds. Maybe if it went wider, I think I might do that. But yeah, but both these guys are from Pennsylvania, so this might be closer fight than we think just because they're from the same state. So yeah, I'm gonna lean Bo Nickal, but I'm not gonna take his money line. I'm not taking his money line.
Yeah, to be clear, I would also not do anything Bo Nickal here. If I had to, my pick is Bo Nickal, but if I had to be forced to bet anything here, I would just go with the plus odds with Kyle Dawkins. But I also just don't trust him enough. So this is like a clear pass for me in terms of this fight. I think there are better opportunities coming up in the card, like this next one right here. So we got Mauricio Ruffy versus Michael Chandler. I actually think this is going to be a banger, man. Like Michael Chandler is always in banger fights, even when he's getting like finished left and right or losing. You know, like I think he always brings the entertainment. There's a reason why the UFC just continuously employs this guy, because I think like each fight that he has is like you could consider it like a fight of the night, or it has moments in it, right, where it's like really awesome. So I see the same thing happening here. What are your thoughts on this one, man? Like, what do you got going on for Rufi versus Chandler?
Yeah, this fight, I feel like Chandler finally got what he wanted. He got the other Conor McGregor on the other side of the octagon in Rufi, the younger Conor, I guess. And yeah, I mean, Chandler is just gonna be putting on an entertaining performance. I don't think he's gonna win. He's 40 years old. I actually think he'll have a better chance against the real Conor McGregor right now instead of Rufi, who's in his prime, 29 years of age, and he's just a sniper. And I don't think at 40 years old, Michael Chandler can find a win in this one unless he chooses to grapple like Benoit Saint Denis if he goes to that. But what do you think about that? The grappling side.
I don't think he's gonna do it personally. Like, just if he like what the last time that he tried to do a little bit of grappling, I feel like it always ends up with either him getting finished or it's just like I don't think it works like for the entirety of the fight, or like long enough for him to get a dub. And he's like 41 or 40 years old at this point. I mean, it's one thing to get ragdolled by BSD. Even though I think, looking back at that fight, I actually think Rufi, yeah, I mean, I know he got subbed, but like I don't think he did that badly, if that makes sense. Like, I think he actually still was pretty good. He was obviously doing better than BSD on the stand up. He was defending himself on multiple occasions. Just, I think BSD is just really high level when he's on top like that. Like, it's just, it's hard to keep that beast off of you. He's really strong. But I've seen enough of Rufi throughout his career where, I don't think anybody who just attempts to wrestle is going to be able to just like wrestle and get him down. Especially, I don't know if a 40-year-old Chandler is going to be able to do that. It's a little past his prime. So I think the best chance that Chandler has, and I think he's going to know this coming into the fight, maybe he'll notice it during the fight when his takedowns aren't working as much as he thinks it is going to be landing just a big shot on Rufi somehow. Because he still has that power for about a round or so. So I think pretty early on he's going to try that. Now, the thing about him is that I think he's just going to get chinned pretty early too, though, because the older you get, I mean, I think his durability is declining too. Like, just watching him in that Paddy Pimblett fight, maybe Chandler like 2 years ago would have won that fight, I would say, but he got knocked out right in the third round or something. So I don't think that's a good look, especially when you saw how Justin Gaethje kind of like dog walked Paddy Pimblett for in a sense in that championship fight. So it's like, yeah, that's not a good guy to just get finished by knockout. I think that's a pretty bad sign for this specific fight. You got a guy like Ruffy too, who just coming off of finishing a pretty high level fighter in Rafael Fiziev. So like that was a pretty high level win, our best win to date. So I think we got to keep on with this guy. Minus 600. I think you just got to trust the process. Put this guy in some good units, and maybe find another leg or so. But I think that's what my plan is for now. Is going with Ruffy as one of my main parlay pieces for this card. I believe him that much, and going back to the styles, kind of make fights, matchups make the fight. I think the real Conor McGregor would have had a decent chance at knocking out Michael Chandler 3 years ago and now. It's just because the way that Ruffy, Chandler, and McGregor fight, right? It's like they're not so much like high volume, like a Max Holloway, where there's like throwing, a million combinations throughout all 3 or 5 rounds. It's like they're snipers. They're waiting for you to do something, slip somewhere. They're waiting for you to show your hand first, and then they're gonna lock in with a sniper to your face. It's that could either be a kick, it could be a straight, just look at what Ruffy did to Bobby Green. I mean, like I can easily see something like that happening here, where he's throwing some kind of spinning kick, and Chandler just goes down pretty quickly. So my official prediction is probably going to be Ruffy first round knockout, probably from a straight. That Chandler's just going to rush in there, try and do something. He's going to miss, and he's just going to catch it straight to the face. And I think that's all she wrote for that. So that's my prediction there. That's how much I'm confident in Ruffy right now. Next fight that we have on this card is going to be a heavyweight banger. Got our boy Josh Hokit versus Derrick Lewis. What are your heavyweight fight right here?
Yeah, this is Donald Trump's favorite fighter in Derrick Lewis. I think that's the only part that I'm scared of, honestly, is that this is Donald Trump's favorite fighter. But outside of that, I think I would be going Hokit all the way in this matchup. I don't think Derrick Lewis has it anymore in like the finishes that he used to have. I don't know, he has that full fighter in him to go all out. Like, say if Derrick Lewis was in the war that Curtis Blades was in Hokit's last fight, I think Derrick Lewis would have wilted. I don't know if he would have been able to withstand that type of fight. And Hokit's coming in here with all the confidence in the world and in front of the president. I think he's just gonna try to show out, and I think he'll be able to continue his win streak here. I'm gonna be guessing that it'll end up being a finish. I don't know when it'll happen, but I think just his youth and his confidence and just his athleticism is just going to be too much for Derrick Lewis, who's 41 years of age now. I don't know if he has that same fire in him to go through in a fight like this. So, yeah, I have Hokit all the way on this one. For me, I'm just scared if Trump whispered into anybody's ear about Derrick Lewis. I like Derrick Lewis. That's my favorite fighter. And something weird happens in the judges, but if it gets to that, but I don't know. But Hokit's my guy.
Yeah, got to go Hokit here. He just has Lewis, I think, covered in too many spots, unfortunately. There's always that off chance that Derrick Lewis brings something out, catches him. It's a heavyweight fight. Derrick Lewis is the king of doing that. I mean, he always has that one shot in him, but I think Hokit is a lot smarter than what he's showing and portraying. Like, I think he has actually good fight IQ. For people who don't know, I guess at this point, most people do know, but I mean, Hokit is a wrestler at heart, right? That's how he trained growing up, football player. So yeah, he's used to physical contact, grappling. He's used to all of that stuff. The striking is something that is kind of more new for him. He's been developing that. And you kind of see with his fighting style too. Like, it's I don't know if it's like the sharpest thing that I've seen, like, but it's just that athleticism, that being a high level athlete. Like, you see it very clearly. There's a reason why this guy was in the NFL for a bit, like even on a practice squad or something. It's like he has a crazy athleticism for UFC heavyweight. Very different from some of the guys that are in the UFC right now in that division. Very different from some of the guys that Derrick Lewis has been beating to. So this is going to be a much different matchup that Derrick Lewis has in front of him. I think that Hokit, the reason why I say I think he has a good fight IQ in this sense is because he did that to a guy like Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades is also a wrestler. I think that was a good decision to go with the stand-up to try to beat Curtis Blades there. If he would have wrestled, he might have ended up like Gelton Almeida. Who knows? Might get an elbow to the head or something. You want to do some takedowns. Kind of attacking the opponent's weakness, right? And I think for this one, he has Lewis covered in both areas, either stand-up or the grappling. Stand-up wise, he can just overwhelm Lewis. Waldo Cortez knocked out Derrick Lewis in the second round, I think, or something like that. So I could see Hogan doing that too. Yeah, I think there's too many areas covered. The only thing that, right now the odds are what, like Hogan minus 315 or something like that. I personally think he's a safe parlay piece. If you want to hedge Derrick Lewis by KO, just to hedge it a little bit if you want. But I don't really see an issue in going with Hogan here as a parlay piece, just because I think there's just too much of a gap in a lot of areas for this matchup. So yeah, I'm pretty confident in Josh Hogan bringing this up.
I just noticed this. This is going to be Hokit's 5th fight within 12 months. Well, about 9 to 10 months. This is going to be his 5th fight. So you think there's any wear and tear, even especially after he went with that war against Blades, which was only a month and 2 weeks ago?
Right. Yeah, that would be the only concern, it's just that fight really. Because if you look at all the other fights, I feel like he might have had an easier time with those fights than just in sparring or training for the fights. Honestly, the amount of energy that he spent in those fights, I don't think it was that much. He was doing a lot of just emoting, especially the Denzel Freeman fight. That fight might have gave him some energy actually for the next fight that he had. So, that was
rehearsing his lines was the
yeah, exactly. Part. I feel like it took him gave him some extra juice, honestly, to prepare, and that was probably the most draining part for him was just the mic skills. But yeah, that fight was a war, man. That's that's the point. That's the type of fight where sometimes you'll rather just get knocked out than having something like that happen to you over the course of 15 minutes, because it's repeated blows to the head. That could put a dent on your durability long term, more so than just a quick knockout, really. But no, I don't think so. I think that heavyweight, especially, they're not really worried about cutting weight or anything, right? Maybe they just do a little bit of weight cutting here and there, maybe do a little bit of cardio or something. But that's just not what they're focused on. They're not really focused on those weight cuts. So I think that he's going to come in here as fresh as he can. But yeah, that last fight, it's a war. But unless Derrick Lewis has some kind of fountain of youth and he also comes in let's say even 2 or 3 years younger, which I don't think he is, then I'll be a little concerned. But at this point, I'm going back to your point about I think that I don't know if he has enough of that fight in him to withstand this other guy coming in with all the fight in the world that he has in him. I think this guy truly believes that if he gets his hands on Alex Pereira or Ciryl Gane, that he's gonna, if he ever gets the opportunity, I feel like what this guy's plan is that he's just talking all this stuff, and then when he gets the opportunity to face either of those guys, either Potan or Gane, he's just going to come in there and go straight to the wrestling right away. And I don't think he's going to even entertain any striking at all. I think he's just going to go in there and use the takedowns. With Aspinall, it's a different story. I don't know if he can do that to Aspinall, but with those two guys, I think he believes that there's a big enough gap in the grappling where he can just come in there and be heavyweight champion. So I think he has that in his mindset. I think he's super focused to get to that point. Everything that he's been doing is trying to get to that point of being a champion. So, look at another thing is we have to look more deeply into this. Look at who's on the fight card, right? We have a heavyweight fight, Potan versus Ciryl Gane. You already know this guy's going to call out he's gonna call out either of those guys in his speech. So yeah, like just tune in for that. I think this is the perfect time for him to do that.
No, long shot. I think he might call out Topuria.
Oh yeah, he'll do that too. Man, an animal, dude. He was an animal. All right, next fight we got is Sean O'Malley versus Aiemann Zahabi. It's taken me a while to kind of acknowledge and respect Aiemann Zahabi a little bit. I to be honest, I've just never been the biggest fan, but this guy keeps on bringing out dubs. I think we've been riding him for the last few fights, right? Like against Cheeto Vera, I think we've been riding him, but I gotta go with my man Sean O'Malley here. I just think that Sean still has that championship skill set in striking still, and it's gonna take like just look at the guys who have beaten Sean O'Malley, right? Marab, like it's like let's put some respect in the yeah, man, exactly, that's true. Yeah, maybe I think this is gonna be a little like revenge because he's like, oh, this guy beat Cheeto, I lost to Cheeto, but then I mean, look, dude. Sean O'Malley just masterclassed Cheeto in that rematch. You just saw that Cheeto had like literally no chance at all. And Zahabi went into, I think it was like a split decision against Cheeto. That's not a good look. I think that you got a guy who masterclassed Cheeto. You got a guy who went to split decision against Cheeto. Cheeto dropped him too. I gotta go Sean here. And another thing is, look at Song Yadong, right? Looked impressive. Look at what Sean O'Malley did to Song Yadong. I mean, I don't think that that's a small thing to do. To look, even though like I think the bar is just so high for a guy like Sean O'Malley because like the way he fights, especially just on the feet, right? Like it's very hard to see how this guy can lose like more than let's say one round in stand up unless he's fighting like a guy like even like a Peter Yan, for example. I think that that's the type of level of stand up that you need if you want to face a guy like Sean O'Malley. Like you need to have that kind of stand up at least. Obviously, if you have the grappling, that's great. Like then you have a much higher chance to beat Sean O'Malley. But just in terms of pure stand up here, we're talking about just a very high level fighter in stand up in Sean O'Malley, and I'm just like shocked that this is the matchup that they have for the White House. It's just very weird for me to see a guy like Aiemann Zahabi fight Sean O'Malley. But I think this is the perfect matchup for Sean O'Malley, to be honest. I mean, he has a guy who most likely will not grapple him. Like Aiemann Zahabi, fancies himself as a striker. So I think we're going to get a full-fledged striking matchup here. I'm going to go with Sean O'Malley decision. I might just play that even as a prop, honestly. Because like I don't know if he's going to knock. I think that this is going to be like a 30-27. Worst case scenario, maybe 29-28. But I think they're giving Sean O'Malley the decision here. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, this fight, I mean, I like Aiemann Zahabi as a fighter. He has like the counter striking, very cerebral. He out IQ'd Basharat in that Javid Basharat in that fight. Was able to counter. And against O'Malley, I'm not sure if that type of style is enough. Yeah, 3 rounds. Yeah, I think, I have to go O'Malley. I think he's just too slick and maybe too clean and too quick for Zahabi to really win rounds. But I don't know, maybe he'll be able to win 1 round maybe just off of maybe the first round if it's low output and he has a few counters and stuff like that. But I think O'Malley will just be too much volume, too clean, I think, too quick and slick, like I said. And yeah, you don't really see O'Malley losing to strikers. The best chance that people have is to use the grappling. And I mean, some people say one of those rounds could have went to Song Yadong. And Song Yadong had that grappling, was able to use that to win a round. But Zahabi doesn't have that in his skill set. So I have to go with O'Malley, who doesn't really lose in a striking match, really. Yeah, and he even beat the current champ, Piotr Yan. And even though some people think he lost that fight, but I mean, he looked good in that fight, even if it was close. So I don't know if Zahabi can do that in this one. So I think this is just probably another stepping stone for O'Malley to set up like another big fight with Piotr Jan or someone else in the top contenders. So yeah, I got O'Malley in this one. I'm solidly confident in O'Malley getting this done.
For sure, yeah. I mean, O'Malley, man, I'm pretty confident. I think a parlay piece is worthy for the guy like this right here. Let's go with the co-main event of the fight. Have a card. Got the big heavyweight banger, big heavyweight fight. We got Hotan coming up to try to be the first triple champ in UFC history. First, I mean, let's give it up to this guy. I mean, this guy came into the UFC and just like sped run like to three divisions to be a champion. This guy only has 16 fights in the UFC. That's ridiculous. I mean, this guy's pretty much fighting for a title every 5 fights. So let's give it up to him in 3 divisions, no less. What are your thoughts on this fight, man? Like, I think it's going to be a very fun one.
Yeah, I think this is going to be maybe more so tuned in for me than even the Topuria one, because like we're witnessing something that's never really been done, right? And the thing with Pereira, though, he's a kickboxer. He's been in there with other strikers, and we've seen those other strikers have some success against Pereira on the feet in middleweight and in light heavyweight. I mean, Adesanya, Khalil Roundtree even knocked him down one time. Jamal Hill, not so much.
That was easy money, though.
Yeah. But I mean, Ankalaev, he won that first one.
Yeah.
Even though Pereira wasn't 100%, I guess, in that fight. And Blankovic, he looked good in that fight. That fight could have went either way. Pereira is not unhittable, is like mostly what I'm getting at, even at the lighter divisions. And in this matchup, Ciryl Gane, I think Ciryl Gane has Pereira beat in terms of like footwork and the movement, even at heavyweight. Pereira doesn't really move too much. He's usually like taking his time and looking to counter with his big shots and kind of usually the stalker in the matchup, not really bouncing in and out as much. But he does have some nasty leg kicks, which can slow down Ciryl Gane. So, I mean, if I pick Pereira, that means that I'm betting on something that's never been done before at near pick'em odds. Usually for something like that, I think it should be underdog odds. And this is his first fight at heavyweight too. So currently from a betting standpoint, I think all the values on Ciryl Gane against a fighter who's moving up in weight and is trying to do the impossible. But Pereira's seemingly like the guy who does the impossible things. And the big red flag for me on Gane is that he's not always fully there in his fights. He's not like consistent. You're not sure which type of Ciryl Gane's going to show up. I mean, in that Tom Aspinall fight, I really thought I was close to giving him no chance. And then as I watched that fight, it started to look like, Ciryl Gane might got this in the bag. I don't know what's going on.
Right. Yeah.
And then Aspinall got that eye poke. So he was able to escape that potential loss. There's still a lot of fight to be had in that one, but I want to go Gane. No. My logic is telling me to pick Gane, but just looking at Pereira's face is kind of throwing me off right now. It's like, I'm really going to bet against this guy.
Right.
Early, for now, I'm going to go Gane. I'm going to go Ciryl Gane 2 weeks out. I'm not locking in anything, but yeah, I'm not super confident in this one, but my brain's telling me Gane, and that's what I'm going to go with for now.
Yeah, initially I was on Pereira when the odds dropped. I think that Gane opened up at like minus 200, and that's just like kind of. I thought that was just like disrespectful, honestly. Like to be that wide of an odds. I thought this fight was a pick'em when it first happened, and then I mean, look at the odds now. It's like literally a pick'em. So like I think all the value has been extracted from the Pereira side. I agree with your point. I mean, I think that now the value is probably on the Gane side now. I think that it should probably be a pick'em, but if anything, maybe a slight favor for him. I just want to go Pereira and pick 'em odds here. That's the only thing I want. I would not want that. I'd rather be on Gane picking rods. Reason why is I think that Gane's not like the kind of guys that just Pereira's been beating up on. I don't know if Gane is going to be that like target dummy for it to just like lock in. I know Pereira is really good, but like Gane is, man, this guy is like a middleweight in a heavyweight body. His footwork is just ridiculous. It looks like he's almost gliding out there sometimes. He's just really quick. I think that's kind of what threw off Aspinall a little bit. Like Aspinall for like the first time in his career when he's fighting somebody, I think he noticed that, oh man, like this guy's way quicker than me and faster than me. So it's like I think it threw him off a little bit. Yeah, I think it threw off his whole game. Like he was just kind of shocked by how quick and fast Gane was. If that fight continued, Gane would have won for sure. I think I saw enough of that fight. I think that Aspinall was extremely lucky that he got that eye poke to be able to get like a no contest pretty much. It was not looking good for him. Like, like not at all. I didn't think so. Yeah, I mean, we gotta look at the resume of Gane, right? Like, he's really only lost to the best of the best. Like, you know, losing to the GOAT, John Jones. This is a much different matchup. There's not gonna be any grappling coming from Pereira here, so I wouldn't take too much of that into account. He did lose to Francis Ngannou, but Francis kind of grappled him in a sense. Did a lot of wrestling in that matchup because Francis' knees were toast. So I don't think that's going to happen to Gane here either. I mean, he'll face the power, right, of Pereira. He'll face the quick knockout like chance. But this guy's been in the cage with Francis Ngannou, and he survived. You know that power. I don't think he's going to be intimidated by Pereira, especially man with some of the recent photos that I've seen of Alex Pereira at heavyweight. Like I'm not sure. I applaud him for being ambitious, but I'm not sure about this move up, man. It's like you know, there's a reason why a guy like John Jones, even though he didn't look the greatest, after all those years of moving up to heavyweight, like that is the biggest weight jump in the UFC, going from light heavyweight to heavyweight. You know, we're talking about 205 to 265 that you want to fill out. That's like 60 pounds, right? It's like that's a lot. And I don't know if Pereira is doing that the right way based on what I've seen in terms of his physique. It just seems like he's like dirty bulking kind of. It's like speed running to heavyweight physique wise in a bad way.
Did you see that? You see that O'Malley video? He said, "Dude, I looked at Pereira, and that guy got a wagon on him."
Yeah, that's
Just
just
his shorts was like, "Yo,
oh man.
yeah, I got a BBL."
Guys, that's just yeah, it's just very concerning, man. So, hey, man, he's already kind of slow to begin with. It's like he's coming in there with all this extra just weight, and I don't even know if it's like muscle. Even it's like I mean that yeah, some of it obviously is muscle, but like it's I feel like he's gonna come in slower here, especially against a guy like Gane who's just like built. You could tell he's like you know he's probably like 250 or something, just like built solid muscle. You know, it's
Quick
yeah,
feet.
yeah, it's quick. Like the feet too. It's just this guy's like a world ranked FIFA player. You know, he got that soccer feet. So I mean, he got some advantages here. I gotta go with Gane right now. But I agree with you where it's like, bro, I'm probably just gonna stay away and just watch this fight because like I don't want to be on Gane and then just watch them get like knocked out by a left hook or something. That's just like unfortunate. So I'm rooting for Pereira for real. Like I hope he does it. I think it's amazing to have a triple champ, especially in the UFC where, you know, a lot of times the reason why I respect guys like Pereira or a Conor McGregor, Ilia Topuria, like I just respect people who take chances, move up, give the fans what they want, give the fans like the super fights, what they want to see, right? It's like, no offense to like, you know, like some of these other fighters who, you know, don't take any of those risks, but like it's kind of not the most entertaining thing in the world to watch another like 49, 46 where you're not really doing much and you're just kind of keeping the belt warm and you're not really entertaining the fans when I think that's like the number one thing to do if you're in the UFC at least. You know, if you want to be like, you know, a technical fighter, you want to be like the best fighter, right? Like and be the champion, like there's plenty of other fight organizations, I think, but I think in the UFC, the thing that they care about the most, at least for me, it's like I want to see entertainment. Like I want to see the most entertaining things happen in the UFC. I want to see the biggest moments happen. That's why I really respect Pereira. So I hope he goes in there, knocks out Gane, but very wary of of what he's facing here. I think he's facing a lot of disadvantages coming in from the other side, unfortunately. Let's go to the main event. Yeah, man. I'm not even gonna like sugarcoat this one or be around the bush. This is just well, I don't know how Ilia is gonna celebrate after this one. I don't know what he's gonna do. I mean, I think it's gonna be really quick, unfortunately.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, we're trading Gaethje like Sean Strickland right now? Is
No,
that what
no,
we're trading?
it's not like I think Sean Strickland he got some like advantages over a guy like Hamzat in hindsight, obviously, but like and the way this Top Toro, man, the way this guy fights, it's like you're not gonna be in a grappling fest or anything. Dude, the way he just
It's a striking
dispatches
fest.
yeah, exactly. It's a striking fest, but like the way he dispatches people, it's just ridiculous. Yeah. I think I watched too much of the Volk fights. I watched too much of the Max Holloway fight. Both of those fights, by the way, pretty competitive. Like I think Volk took a round off of him before that knockout. Max probably did the same thing, but I think he took a round off him too. But man, you just can't stand with this guy only for like 25 minutes. I mean, the only guy I seen that happen was what Josh Emmett, and Josh Emmett got like 50-38 or something. So I don't know what the final score, but I'm not even embellishing. I mean, look at Josh Emmett's face after that. Like, he's probably one of those guys who probably would prefer the knockout. Honestly, that was a pretty bad beating that he took in that fight. Yeah, Gaethje, props to him. Being an interim champ, but man, it is going to be I think it's going to be a experience for him, an experience for him going from fighting Paddy Pimblett to Ilia Topuria. There's too much dynamite in the hands. I think it's going to be quick, man. Like, and it's one thing if like Gaethje was, I think, a little bit more like sound and technical. I mean, he's gotten better throughout the years. Like, I actually think that he is a good striker in terms of technique and like all that. But at his core, you see that it's not like the cleanest stuff ever. It's like there still is a sense of like that brawler in him. There still is a sense of that fighting style where he's just kind of leaving caution to the wind. Look at how many times kind of Paddy pieced him up a bit in that fight too. It was a competitive fight, even though Gaethje won. Like there were times in that fight where Paddy was also beating him on the stand up. I don't think he can trade many shots with a guy like Ilia Topuria, who's just a technician, high fight IQ. People think that this guy's basically like just a better Conor McGregor, like in the past, man. Like it's just the way like he sets up these shots. Like just watch Volk narrate his own knockout against Ilia Topuria, right? It's like you can tell the kind of fight IQ that Topuria has. You can tell the kind of traps that he sets out there. You can tell the kind of things that he's thinking in his head real time when he's fighting. Like he's moving his foot to a certain side. He's moving his hands. Like he's watching. I feel like he's one of those like savants when he's watching and like doing these fights on the stand up, at least. Like it's just really eye opening to see. Like he out IQ'd Volk. So yeah, I gotta go with Topuria here. By the way, minus 600 right now. That is a steal. I don't know. I don't think you're gonna get better odds than that leading up to the fight week. So do what you will with that. But yeah, I gotta go with my man Topuria here. And what were your thoughts?
Justin Gaethje, man. This is all right. In what scenario does Justin Gaethje have a chance then in this one? Well, what's his best shot?
He either something with the kicks. So he either does some kind of leg kicks and it does the thing where it drops his leg like a Sean O'Malley lost to Cheeto, or Justin Gaethje finds Ilia's head on a head kick, and that could be a wrap. But outside of those two things happening, yeah, that's like the only two scenarios where I see Justin Gaethje beating Ilia Topuria here.
So what about in the pocket where
Oh.
in previous fights, I mean Gaethje, some of his best spots in a fight is fighting in the pocket. for Gaethje. He hasn't always been successful, but he's knocked down a lot of guys in the pocket, dropped them, knocked them out. You think he can catch Topuria with? You think Topuria will trust his chin a little bit too much at times?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be a bad recipe for Justin Gaethje if he tries to go in the pocket. Ilia Topuria. I'm just thinking back about that Charles Oliveira fight. It's like, if you want to march on in, oh, it's going to be rough. It's like, I feel like it's going to be one of those things where he tries to go in there. If he tries to rush in, tries to be in the pocket, Ilia is going to land like 3 or 4 truly devastating KO shots. And then Gaethje might land like 1 or 2. And I don't think that's enough, unfortunately. Those shots that come in, especially in the pocket, like Ilia has that, like, I know I said earlier that, he's like the better Conor McGregor, but think of Ilia like this. He's like a mix between Conor McGregor and Alexander Volkanovski. Like, just take the best qualities from like both fighters, and then you have Ilia Topuria. It's just gonna be too much on the feet. The most likely the way this guy ever loses in his career is that someone just out grapples him and out wrestles him and subs him, or like just rides him for 25 minutes. But if you don't have that in your skill set, if you're just like a pure striker, you're just gonna get knocked out or outclassed.
Jai Herbert.
Yeah, that's what that's why I'm saying the head kick. That there could be a head kick scenario there, but I just think that with fighting a guy like Oliveira, I think you can tell that Ilia kind of learned from that. That was his first fight at 155. I think he was getting used to, kind of the angle still of a much like taller guy fighting him. He's used to fighting a little smaller people, right? But man, after that, I mean, look, he's dispatched tall guys like Max Holloway, dispatched Oliveira, like Justin Gaethje, man. Like, it's not like this guy's gonna come out there looking like, like a crazy world-class boxer or anything, or like just, setting things up. Like, I mean, I think he's gonna come in there still with that, like, just like weird defense like this. And just, like, I don't know, man. I think he's just gonna get knocked out, dude. Like, yeah, maybe some body shots. Who knows? I think there's just way too many openings that I see, dude. In the pocket, if Justin Gaethje wants to move backwards, Ilia's gonna find his chin too. Yeah, it's too much, man.
Yeah, never mind. I just looked at absorbed strikes per minute is Gaethje's 7.05.
Yeah, it's just,
Never mind.
Like, yeah, you can do that against, like, even Dustin Poirier, right? You can do that against Max Holloway, these volume strikers who you can eat their punches, but man, like, you just can't eat Topuria's punches, dude. Or like, this is too much. Like, it's too much power, too much clean technique, like too much timing, precision, and all of that stuff. It's like too much dynamite, dude. Yeah, not financial advice, but I mean,
So
it's the
Topuria by
White House.
KO?
Yeah, Topuria
Yeah,
by
White House.
KO. Yeah, like Topuria by KO, but like not financial advice. It's the White House. Put the house, dude. Like, there's a reason why it's the White House, dude. Like, come on, like, this is crazy. Like,
But it's an American.
I know, man. Look what's about to happen to Michael Chandler, dude. That's what. Oh, back to the point. I mean, like, yeah, I think a safe one here is, a lot of the favorites that we've seen, right? It's like Topuria, O'Malley. I think I would consider him a pretty solid, confident pick. Hokit, Ruffy. I think there's a lot of opportunity here for some stacks here if you play it out right. If you pick the right, like, people, like 2 or 3 people. So yeah, I'm liking this car from a betting perspective. I think it's still offering a lot of value because, like, I think Ilia should be like a minus 1,000. I don't think he should be a minus 600 right now. Yeah, so I wouldn't mind having him in multiple parlays or being like an anchor piece that you just use as a juicer for a lot of your parlays here.
We already had an undefeated champ lose their O.
I know, yeah, that was a tough one.
Ilia not going to be one of them.
No, because just a lot of red flags coming into that Hamza one, right? It's like that I think we should have treated that with a little bit more care. Like, it's that weight cut was a little concerning looking back at it. Then you learn about the specifics of what was happening, right? It's like he was preparing to fight Yuri Prohaska or something at 205. and then they changed the plans. I mean, supposedly this is what I don't know. I don't know if this is true or not, but it could be just an excuse because he lost. But like, that's yeah, we should have took that into account. And like, just a guy like Sean Strickland is just like constantly disrespected on these fights. Like yeah, it's crazy, man. But the sad thing is, I mean, I think Hamza won the fight, but it was a close fight. And if it's a close fight like that, the better bet was on the other side. It's like, like it's just, that was just the better value bet. Just a close fight like that because Sean Strickland proved his value in a sense. So yeah, bad bet on us. Will this one turn out like that? No, because I think there's a higher chance of a knockout, something that is final, and that there's going to be no tap out necessary here, or no like wrestling for 25 minutes. It's and that's another funny thing. It's like if Ilia was a less like entertaining fighter, or a fighter who didn't really care about the fans, he can just go in here and I think out wrestle Justin Gaethje and maybe even find a sub. Like, look what he did to Bryce Mitchell. Like, it's like there are a lot of levels to his game that I don't think people have seen yet. But he just cares about the fans so much. He wants to give them the knockouts. He wants to give them like something to look forward to. And I'll be tuning in. I'll be tuning in for that for sure.
One more time down the list. What's the picks for UFC Freedom 250?
Well, my pick's Ilia, Topuria by knockout. I think round 1. I'm going with Ciryl Gane by decision. I'm going with O'Malley by decision. I'm going with Hokit, round 1 knockout. Ruffy, I'm going with round 2 knockout. I'm going to go Nickal decision, and I'm going to believe in Steve Garcia enough and say round 2 knockout there. Yeah.
Way to start the card.
Yeah. What about you?
Banger.
What were your picks?
Yeah, mostly almost in agreement. I'm not going to say the exact outcome, but I got Ilia Topuria, Ciryl Gane, O'Malley, Josh Hokit, Ruffy. You know what? I'm going to go Kyle Daukaus, Steve Garcia. That's going to be my mind.
Nice. Cool. Well, this one's in June 13th, so we did a little early this time, but yeah, definitely tune in for this one, guys. I think it's going to be, even though it could have been better, I think this is going to be still an entertaining card nonetheless. So yeah, until next time. Oh, actually, it's June 14th, actually. So it's on Sunday, according to this UFC website. So that will be a very fun thing. And usually you don't see fights on Sundays. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Until then, just, best of luck with everything. And we'll be back for the next fight card.